Hello, welcome back to your favorite River Forum. And once again, my name is Bernard Eshibontin, aka African Teacher. So, if you haven't subscribed, I will ask you to subscribe and share with friends and family and let them know about how informative this forum is. And I will appreciate it if you do this for me, sharing and clicking the notification bell and so that anytime I upload new video, you be the first person to know, be notified about, because I talk about a range of issues, geopolitical, economic, social, cultural, around the world, everywhere, African, United States, China, continental Europe, everywhere, Australia, Canada, everywhere. And so you find something informative about it. And so that is what this Offin River Forum is. And so once again, Bernard Shibontin, aka African Teacher. And before I stick on to the main topic for today's discussion, I would like to make this disclaimer or clarification. Please, a friend of mine or family member asking me, why you be wearing dark glasses? We want to see your eyes or wherever. You want your, no, it is not about me. Anybody who really know me very well, I don't like attention. I don't like attention to be on me. No, it's not about me. This forum, Offin River Forum, is not about Bernard Eshibontin, aka African Teacher. No, it's about the message. Ask yourself, when you listen to it, when you read, ask yourself, is what this guy is saying, and what African Teacher is talking about, does it make sense? Is it relevant? Is it something I know? Or I know, but he gave me more details about it. That is what I wanted to focus. And I'll be so happy if you focus on the message as opposed to what I got on or what I didn't put on. That is not relevant. And so the most important thing for me is when you listen to the message or what information I'm relaying, I'm conveying, is it relevant? Is it important? Is it informative? Is it detailed? Is it true? Is it live? That is what I want my listeners, my viewers to know. So that is what I wanted to make, and I'll be happy if you stick to that. So today, conversation or discussion will be about Russia-Ukraine conflict. And the topic will be, now that President Putin lies, the topic is President Putin lies are fast catching up with him. President Putin of Russia lies about the war are fast catching up with him. And that is what it is. Well, for the starters, on February 24th, like I said in my previous video, Putin launched unprovoked, needless invasion of a neighboring country, Ukraine. Why? Because he thought he can do it. Because he has the means, he has the capabilities to do it. He has a nuclear weapon, the most important thing. So he can do it. And so he did it. And if you listen to the justification, the reasons Putin said he was going to Ukraine was because he's going to get rid of neo-fascists and Nazis, people living in that area. The Nazis, like the followers, believers of demented German leader Hitler, Adolf Hitler. Those people who were ardent followers of Hitler ideology, Nazis, and Benito Mussolini in Italy, fascist people. Those are the people. He said there were full of them, a lot of them in there in Ukraine. So he's going to get rid of them. So the question is, who asked Putin to do that? Who gave that Putin responsibility? Is that his business? That Ukraine is a sovereign nation, independent nation. Why are you going there? Are those people over there attacking Russia? The question is no, it's not true. But that's how authoritarians do. If you look at all history, all the countries around the world that are based on authoritarian rule, like Cuba, North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, those countries, even Dubai, somehow, United Arab Emirates, it's all based on they all ruled by dictators, because you know what? They don't have freedom of press, freedom of expression, and freedom of the media like we have in Ghana, in the United States and Nigeria. They don't have that. Because one person, the person who ruled that country is not accountable to anybody. And so those are the countries. And so those countries are based on lies. The leaders, they lie because nobody can double check you, cross check or whatever. There's nothing you can do. If you try, you will never see the light of the day anymore. They can just pick you up in the middle of the night and no question asked and kill you. So that is what Putin is based on. Putin leadership is based on what? Fear, mysterious deaths. Before you know it, today one of his leaders died mysteriously. You don't even know what it, even that I'm talking, the guy who was responsible for recruiting about 300,000 Russians to go and fight, when he realized that he's losing and now he need more additional troops. So the person who was in charge of recruiting about 300,000, mobilizing those 300,000 conscript or Russians to go and fight, the person just died about 3 days ago, mysteriously. Nobody knows. They say he committed suicide. Guess how? That's how it's happening in Russia. And so that is the kind of country they have under Putin. He lied. He told Russians that what he's doing in Ukraine is, he called that special military operations. He never told them he's invading that country because he can. So all along the Russians people thought what Putin was doing in Ukraine is some kind of special military operation, just restricted to just little place within Ukraine. But I think everybody knows that is not what it is. He just destroying the country from left, from right. But guess what? Until this fight, everybody thought Russia under Putin is a very powerful nation, even though Soviet Union disintegrated or Soviet Union broke up in the early 1990s. We still thought that since they have nuclear weapons, Russia somehow is a very powerful nation. But the contrary is the case now, because what is happening, the invasion of Ukraine has big time exposed Russia lies, Putin lies. That we find that Russia is not all that military strong that the way that they portray themselves to be, because it's right there in the battlefield. They're losing every day. They're losing. So now that he's losing, he want to use a nuclear weapon. It's just like you fighting a little bitty kid, and you're a bully. You bully somebody every day, and you think you can beat that person because anytime you see the person, he runs away. And so you think you are powerful. So you get a person, seek the person, all kind of stuff. And one day, the person decided that, you know what? I'm tired of this bullying. I'm going to fight you. I will stand up. I will stand toe-to-toe with you. And that is what Ukraine was doing, backed by Western nation military equipment. And guess what? Russian military is crumbling from within. They're dying like crazy. As of now, rough estimate, it can be more than that. Rough estimate that, the death since this war, Russia has, recorded over 90,000 military, not even civilian, have died. For what reason? And they're dying every day. Most major military leaders, generals and that kind of colonels, top ranking military leaders, they're dying every day in the battlefield in Ukraine. Yes, but guess what? Still, Putin is not telling the truth to the Russian people, covering all these deaths. They die. Sometimes even it's shocked. Ukraine people, Ukraine military, they come and see all these abandoned tanks that the Russians have left behind. They're running away. They're fleeing. They're just running away. And so that is what I want you to know from this particular discussion is that Russia is not all that strong that they want to portray to the world that they're strong. They're not strong because, why am I saying that? If you look at what is happening in Ukraine, it tells you they don't even know how to fight. They don't even know how to fight. They were bullying. They thought they were within a week or two, they will run over Ukraine. But guess what? Ukraine are resisting hard and fighting hard and destroying a lot of these military tanks and airplanes and all kind of stuff. If Ukraine has nuclear weapon, probably we wouldn't be having this conversation. The fight would be over by now. But because Russia have nuclear weapons, now they're using that as a trump card. That if Ukraine, Putin is deciding as to whether to use nuclear weapon, either tactical or strategic, and so he's scared. He's scared because you know what? If like I said, if Putin were to use nuclear weapon, then it will be a different. He has changed international norms, and the way the international order will be changed forever. And I don't know from now on what will happen. It's a very scary situation, and that is what Putin is trying to do. But guess what? His lies has catch up with him, and he's losing big time. And their military can't even fight. They don't have all the military. Like before this invasion, everybody think Russia is superior military, and they were comparing themselves to the level of the United States. But guess what? At this point, from the way Russia is fighting in Ukraine, they cannot stand United States for a minute. They cannot stand. It's just like United States, contrary to what a lot of people think, United States doesn't really fight anybody or doesn't really go to any country without provocation. If you look at Afghanistan and what Saddam Hussein was doing or what Gaddafi was doing, it's a provocation when they destroying, killing their people, innocent people, like that. It's humiliating. It's very, very depressing to see other countries killing their own people. Why? Because you have power. That is the only reason. But United States as a country cannot just did what Putin is doing, because guess what? Even though in United States, right? I know this particular topic is not about United, but I just want to make some points. So just to clarify what I'm doing, just to make things clear. United States President, according to the Constitution of the United States, is the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military. All the U.S. military combined. United States President is the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military. But guess what? He cannot invade any other country without Congress authorization. According to the Constitution, United States President need authorization, need power from Congress to go to war, especially if the war will go past 60 days. He can order some short, like 30 days or something like that, if something that United States has to respond quickly. But other than that, if United States were to invade any other country, like Putin did, there's no way U.S. President can do that without Congress passing a war resolution act. That is what it is. Because if a president does that, United States President dies, he can be impeached, he can be removed from power. So United States President does not have power like Putin has all this power to invade any other country without Congress, both Senate and the House of Representatives. So think about it. One country like this, United States and Russia. So when you see people talking about United States is this and that, I would not want to live in Russia, where one person, Putin, run everything. You don't have a freedom of the press. You don't have freedom of expression. Every day, mysteriously, his leaders, if he doesn't like you or you say something, or somebody come and whisper into his ears that somebody trying to do this, you die mysteriously. They be poisoning them. That's what is happening. And so he tried. Putin is doing that. Thought he can run, bully Ukraine, and Ukraine has resisted. And if you compare what Ukraine is doing in this war, as opposed to Russia, you can tell Russia military equipment are inferior, because guess what? Most of the equipment, military equipment Ukraine are using is from the Western nations, and it's destroying almost all Russian military equipment. And so that tells you that all this lie, all this arrow, all this bravado power that Russia portray around the world, that they are superpower, The only power they got is the nuclear weapon. That's true. But besides nuclear weapon, we don't use nuclear weapon when country has not attacked your homeland. Ukraine has not attacked Russia homeland. So what is the need for? You the one want to invade somebody, take over somebody's country. Now you say, I'm using a nuclear weapon. See? And so without nuclear weapon, Russia is nothing because what? Their tanks, all their cruise missiles are missing. And now they're even using Iran's drones to destroy Kiev, the capital, civilian population area. They're missing their targets here and there. So Russia are not that powerful that we think they are. Maybe in the Soviet Union time. Now Putin Russia, that's the point of this conversation. Russia is not that militarily capable. Without nuclear weapon, Russia is nothing. Because what is happening in Ukraine is over dramatized or exposed Russia's weakness. They are not all that strong that we thought they are. Because that invasion has exposed their weakness. Western equipment are better, far superior to what Russia got. So, before I end, this is my advice to all those countries who are buying military equipment from Russia. You are buying inferior goods. Countries like India, Pakistan, and those Cuba, Iran, those countries that are using Russian military, it's inferior because look at what is happening in Ukraine. All the Ukraine equipment, most of the equipment from the Western nations, from United States, from Germany, from Britain, from Canada, from Israel, all those countries, equipment. That tells you which one is more quality, superior, when you compare the two. So that's my advice to all those countries that Russia, Putin is lying too much, lying through his teeth, and the way he conducted the war and the way he thinks he's so powerful, he's not that powerful because what is happening in Ukraine tells a lot about Russian military, state of the Russian military. And when you lie too much, at the end of the day, it catch up with you. And that is what is happening. So, Mr. Putin, you're losing. Put that nuclear weapon out there. We all know you have it. But it's not about nuclear weapon because no country has attacked your homeland for you to defend yourself. You are attacking somebody, trying to grab somebody's land. So that is the point. So once again, my name is Bernard Esubonti, aka African Teacher, and this is Sophian River Forum. Share with friends and family and let them know how informative this forum is. Thank you, and I'll talk to you another time. Have a good day.